Hello YouTube, today at powerjackrepair.org we got a motherboard from ASUS ROG ZEPHYRUS G14 GA402RK. I want you to take a look. The reason I'm making this video is that if you never had to wiggle the connector ever and the computer just died, has nothing to do with the connector. So don't send me any work, any possible connector replacement. So this is a new connector right here for this type of board. Looks like that. All right. So the black center circle isn't broken, but the client did ask me to replace this connector. But if you never had to wiggle anything, don't send it to me. Here's why. Let me show you. When you take the heatsink off, we are at the point in time where we put extremely thin heatsinks, extremely thin heatsinks that trap the dust inside. I already cleaned those heatsinks, so they don't have any dust inside. But inside of those heatsinks, usually there is a trapped dust, all right? And what you see right away on the heatsink when I took it off, you see those black spots right there? Right here is a black spot. Right there is a black spot. And you see this liquid metal splattered all over the place. So the thing to keep in mind, you see this guard right here, this guard not supposed to, and this guard right here is not supposed to let the liquid metal to go anywhere else on the motherboard, because this is a conductive material. Liquid metal is a conductive material. And if you look at the CPU and GPU, what do you see? You see pretty much a burning hole right there. Right there. This should not look like that. So what happens is the liquid metal, we got liquid metal here, and we got liquid metal here, and we got this guard right here to not allow the liquid metal to go onto the motherboard. So when you take this guy off, and you see this blackness right there, that usually means the GPU or CPU are burned. I haven't looked at which one is the GPU, which one is the CPU yet, but the point is, it's probably not a connector if you never had to jiggle the cord. It's probably a CPU or GPU that are burned, right? Because the heat sinks are extremely thin, they trap a lot of dust, and the system is running hot, and you get this liquid metal going away from the heat spots. And once it goes away from the heat spots, it stops cooling that particular area. And yeah, so right now I checked out the stock of Intel. It's fallen for some reason, but I'm pretty sure that if you're gonna continue using this stuff on the high-end systems, and this is probably an expensive system, if you have the system, just make a comment below how much you paid for it. If you're gonna be using stuff like that, this stuff gonna burn out, this stuff gonna burn out every year, all right? Simple as that. I have 1,000+ videos on this YouTube. I point out every single fault in every single motherboard. So it's not like you have to think that it's specific to this model, make and model. Just take it as is, you know. This is, the idea was great, but yeah. All right, so let me show you how I'm gonna replace the connector right here. So the reason I take the heatsink off is to take a look and see if you got any burn spots, because I saw the heatsink was dusty right here and the fans were dusty. So I cleaned the dust from the fans, cleaned the dust from the heatsinks, because I don't want the client to receive the motherboard back and tell me that, you know what, the system died in a week or two. Yeah, it would die if I wouldn't do anything about this stuff. It would die for sure. All right, if you're not gonna clean the heatsinks here, not gonna clean the fans, it will die within, like, if you use it a year long. The system came in slightly bent. I didn't bend the motherboard on purpose, so because it came in an envelope, and I tell everybody, and specifically here I also explain to the client that they need to send it in a sturdy box, but nobody listens ever, and it's fine, no big deal. Nobody reads and nobody listens, and I get motherboards in an envelope all the time. Right, so if possible, send it in a box. Box is much harder to bend. If you think the motherboard can handle a shipping in an envelope, it can, but it's gonna be like that. You see how crooked it is, all right? Every second motherboard I get is in the envelope for some reason. Even though if you put it in like a USPS box, it's free and it's the same price as the envelope. I'm not sure why, I mean, like how hard is it to just put it in a box? Anyways, enough complaining. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna, well, first of all, I don't want the liquid metal to go all over the motherboard. So the goal is to put this stuff right here. Let's see. The prices are above for the repairs. This is for the year 2025. The tariffs are already taken a toll because I went out to order those gloves right here, the ones I use. Those are ESD gloves, ESD safe gloves. And the problem is usually I pay $125 for those gloves for 600 pieces. And now, because of the tariffs, I had to pay $225. So they added $100 more. And the price stayed the same. It just the gloves basically to me became double the price. So and the connectors are also becoming double in price. Not even double. Like if you want to buy just one connector, like recently before we had like temporary shutdown on the tariffs, to buy one connector I had to pay $100 for the tariff because it was $100 minimum tariff. I was like, wow. So I was like shutting down the company already. But I think somebody figured something out. So now I'm just paying. No, still. So yeah, for the box of gloves, they charge me $100 in tariffs. Anyways, yeah. So if you think there's not going to be any inflation, I am out shopping before August 1st for the fridge, for the new fridge, for the new gas stove. Obviously Samsung or LG, because I think those brands are usually, from what I repair, Samsung laptops are made really well. And I like Samsung or Korean products. I like Japanese products more, but I don't see any refrigerators made in Japan. So anyways, this guy right here. Let's insulate the area. I need to remove this particular piece right here because it's gonna get melted for sure. I just need to attach it back once I'm done. All right, so I don't see any issues to the jack itself here, or the jack on the front, but the client asked me to replace it, so I'm gonna replace it. All right, so I put some foil to protect the nearby components. I don't want them to blow off the motherboard while I'm working on this thing. All right, seems like I need another foil right there. You know, the funny thing is there's gonna be tariffs on everything that's required to fix a laptop, but there won't be any tariffs on the laptops. So it would be easier just to buy a new laptop every time than to fix it. So I might consider selling the business or shutting down the business. So check the website to make sure I'm still in business, because if the gloves are double the price, if the connectors, if I need to get one connector and I have to pay $100 for it, after August 1st, we will see how things gonna work or not work out. So, alrighty. All right, so I insulated the area. Let's desolder it and put the new piece. There's only one way you can put it in, so you don't need to mark which way is up, which way is down. All right. Alrighty. So what I'm doing here, I'm putting some flux on top of the connector. All right. And I have a missing plug for this. All right, so at first I'm gonna do just tiny bit of the hot air, just a tiny bit, and because I need to mix the leaded base solder with the unleaded base solder. Oops, and I need to power up the soldering station. Alrighty. All right, and now I'm gonna increase the hot air and get this guy off the motherboard. Come on. All right. Good job. Now I'm reducing the temperature. And we're gonna get the solder off of the pads. Like that. Come on. Just a little bit. Good job. Excellent. You see how everything is nice and clean? So now all I have to do is I need to put a new connector. So I'm putting the new connector right here. This is the old connector right here. This is the new connector. It sits perfectly in. All right, so what I need to do is I need to put some flux on the top so that when the new connector is going in, the flux would go in to the holes coating the connector and the pad itself. So like that. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, before I flip it over, I need to secure the connector in place. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to press onto the motherboard, secure this guy in place. You want to secure this in place. Good job. All right, so this is all secured. Good. Now you can flip it over, put a pad underneath it, put some flux on top. I know I'm using a lot of flux, but I want a solid connection without any way of cold soldering here, so. And flux is not cheap anymore. Yeah, it used to be like, it didn't cost anything. Now it's like $20 for each tube. So. At least solder is still cheap, so that's I got plenty of. All right. Alrighty. Maybe a few more. Okay. All right. Now this is not over yet, because what happens on this particular jack, we need to remove all of the insulation. All right, so I see, okay, here. As you can see right there, this is the top side. So if you just solder from the bottom, the top side not gonna be soldered through. Even though, so what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna put some flux here, here. A little bit. I don't think I would be able to solder this guy right here. Oh, we could try. Let's see. Let's see. All right, looks good. Looks excellent. when I was paying $1,000 for this particular iron setup, it's just the station is separate, the pencil is separate, and each tip is like $100. I was like, I will never get my money back. But I end up using this pretty much on every repair. All right, good job. You see how beautiful this is? All right. It's just like there's no way for me to get into there. There is a way to get into there. Good? Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Amazing. Oh. Looks good to me. So everything is soldered. I just need to clean it up. Make sure you're not gonna damage this connector right here, the one for the LED LCD. Don't touch it, don't breathe it. This EDP cable right there, it says. Yeah. All right. All I have to do now is to just clean it up. Clean it up. Again, I don't want to go towards the connector. Just want to clean it up around the connector. All right, beautiful. Beautiful. Now this guy right there is not exactly soldered through, but it's no big deal. It's not a plus and it's not a minus. It's just signal maybe of some sort for the center pin, I think, which the system probably doesn't use. It's not, I mean, it's soldered on this end right here, but don't flood this chip right here, all right? Sometimes the solder goes underneath it. All right, so what I'm showing you here is that we need to add probably a little bit more solder right here. You see, because it's not all the way. And I can show you that all of those components are still intact. None of them got blown off by the hot air. And that's the reason why you want to use the insulation. So let me clean this guy first. All right, beautiful. I just need to make sure it's not touching that component next to it right there. It's all good. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna clean it a bit more. Blow off the cleaning solution everywhere. Have to air dry it, and then I will show you what I'm gonna do next. This is a lint-free cloth, which absorbs all the chemicals. It's called Kimtech. It's available from the link below. I mean, I don't sell it. There is a link below to an Amazon where you could get it. All right. Well, you got the point. Silicone here. Let's lower the work pad. All right. Let's get rid of that. I wanted to do something. Yeah, I wanted to. This is the air dryer I use to dry out the air. We can use it, by the way, right now. dry out the motherboard. What I'm drying out are the chips, making sure there is no ISP left under the chip. And I usually do it in the soldering chamber, not here, because all the chemicals should be staying in the, not on the work table. All right. Okay, excellent. Excellent. All right, so let's flip this guy over. Let's see if we can put this guy back in. All right. Looks good to me. Let's get rid of the... So yeah, I mean, double for the gloves. I mean, if you expect the price is gonna coming down, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, the laptop's probably gonna stay the same in price, but to repair them probably gonna be more expensive and probably not exactly a profitable business. All right, so here. Okay, so the grounds are fine, the pluses are fine, and those two guys also show me resistance, so they are good for something, but probably a data signal. All right, so here is the key to everything. The reason I put this stuff on, not advertisement obviously, but so that the liquid metal would not be going all over the place. All right, so it wouldn't be hitting the motherboard anywhere. So that's the reason I put it there. Let's so if the system wouldn't arrive here for the jack replacement, it would probably die of the overheating. So here's what we're gonna do. First of all, I need to put some glasses on, because if this liquid metal gonna get into your eyes, I don't think anybody gonna be able to get it out. Wanted to show you the best invention of the human race. I used to wear those glasses like all day, every day, and the plastic here used to rub on my nose. Those pads right here, it's called medical grade silicone, but I don't think there is a medical grade silicone versus non-medical. They basically just keep the nose comfortable right here. They just like stick on, and now I don't get any indentations on my nose. But this plastic right here rubs on your ears and basically causes cancer probably. So anyways, for 5 minutes, I'm sure I'm gonna be all right. So here, you see right here, it's trying to get out of the safe zone. Safe zone is where the, how they say it, where the tape is at. So where the tape is starting. So we're just gonna move this guy from this area back onto the, no, it's not even, it doesn't even wanna touch. Nope. Doesn't even wanna get back onto the, no. Strange. Usually that liquid metal is fine by attaching to the, come on. Nope. Strange. Really, really, really strange. Oh, right there. Started to attach itself. Good job. All right. All right, so this chip is going to be fine, but this chip, come on. The liquid metal didn't go anywhere. It just floated away from the heat spots, from the center of the CPU and GPU. So what we need to do is we need to get it back on top of those spots, and it's the client, it's up to the client to keep the heatsink clean and the fans clean, so everything would be cooling. All right, so honestly, I'm happy with this result right there. It's all nice and floaty, but I'm not exactly happy here because it's not attaching well. It should be pretty much attaching to the metal, but because there is a burn mark, and again, make sure this stuff doesn't flow anywhere onto the motherboard, because if it hits the motherboard, you will get a shortage on the motherboard. All right. All right. Just doesn't want to stick to anything. Come on. So the goal is to make it cover as much of the CPU and GPU as possible. All right. All right, let's see. I want to cover this thing too, as much as possible. Yeah, and here it's also, it burned through the heatsink. So, all right. And here's, there's nothing there. This is just unbelievable. Come on. Come on. Yeah, okay. Now this is like the worst burn CPU and GPU I've seen from one of those liquid metal cases. All right, good job. Good job. And I want to make sure that this area right here is also covered. Like it flows away right away. I mean, it's not sticking well to anything. Sometimes it's probably better just to put a regular thermal paste like that onto there. But I guess there is a reason why they designed it, so maybe it would die within a year or two and you would buy a new laptop. Maybe not, go figure. Anyways, this stuff is in good condition. It's still sticky. It's gonna be cooling just fine right here and right here. Yeah, I do get comments from you saying that you need to remove all of this and apply the new silicone right there. I have plenty of it. But let me just explain that this thing gonna go out much faster than any of that stuff right here, because all of that is gonna be cooling just fine. This stuff, when it's not on the center of the CPU, and you see it's already starting to, so right there, you see everything is nice and shiny, but right here it's starting to go away, so hopefully the top cover gonna put right here and it's gonna be spreading evenly. All right, I need to get the CPUs from downstairs. All right, so here. Nice and clean. Make sure it spins. Okay, I cleaned it, but there's sometimes stuff gets stuck in between the top blades. And by the way, those fans are extremely brittle. Once they overheat, the fan can just fall apart in your hands. So when you clean it, be extremely careful. I can't tell you how many times I had to buy a new fan for the client, because when I was trying to clean it, the blades, those thin blades, they just like fell on my workbench, and I was like, no. And I mean, it's my problem because I'm the one who started to clean them. So be careful when you clean a heatsink for your client. Doesn't look right. This doesn't look right to me. Strange. No, that's not exactly the way how it was, right? I think like that is the way it looks like. Okay. Alrighty. We're gonna put it here. And this thing nice and clean. Let's see. Nice and clean. Again, all blades are in order. Don't try to clean them too hard, because again, once you break one of the blades, the whole fan becomes misbalanced. Once it becomes out of balance, you need to get a new fan. Okay. Let's find a screwdriver, because I took it apart at the workbench and not at the studio. So we're gonna screw this guy here, screw this guy right there, and right there. Now, one other thing to keep in mind, if you get the motherboard to the laptop back and it still has issues with wiggling, the problem might be the tip of your cord. When you look inside, I will explain in a second. Let me just put this guy back where it was supposed to be at. All right. Just making sure that nothing gets spilled. All right. Good job. Good job. Now, the funny thing is that it doesn't say which one goes first and which one goes second. Usually there is like 1, 2, 3, 4. So we will do 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't over tighten the screws. I mean, it's the springs that hold the heat sinks to the board. So, all right. Now, what's not all right is this heatsink touching one of the components, because the board is bent. Right here, where the cable is gonna go for the lines. All right. Here, everything is sitting tightly, really good. Okay. All right, guys. Oh yeah, I wanted to tell you that in case you get the laptop back. All right. So what I meant to say is, take a look inside of this tip, and on the inside, there should be a shiny surface like this one on the inside of the barrel. If that surface is orangey or yellowish, or has some like rust on it, like the one we got right here. Well, no, I mean, this looks good, but I'm just saying that the reason why we get the orangey stuff right there is the oxidation and the bad connection between the connector and this cord. And let me see if I could show you better. Maybe we can fire up the microscope and maybe we can see inside. Never done it before. Let's take a look. All right, so you see there is some, it's not as shiny as this. It should be as shiny as the outside, but I mean, it looks okay. It doesn't look like orangey or anything like that. Now this connector looks relatively good on the inside. Let's scratch the surface and see if oh, you see how it should be shiny right there. So we do have something. We do have some sort of garbage here on the inside of the tip. Because it's not as shiny as I want it to be. But I'm just gonna make it shiny, alright? For a more solid connection. And strange thing is right here. There's some sort of garbage in there, right? Yeah, so all of that stuff right here gets pretty much oxidated. And that's the reason why you need to buy a new power supply every now and then for this particular system. But this power supply to me looks relatively okay, right? I want to make sure that there is nothing electrical on this table. Let's see if we're gonna plug it in. Yeah, so we got the light right there, meaning the system should work fine. All right. I was hoping the fan's gonna spin up, but they didn't spin up. So, but we got the light. Let's disconnect. Right. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, and you guys take care and have a good day. Thanks. Bye.